good Mother's Day weekend, and your wives and mothers, you treated them well. So let's go ahead and get started here. One of the things we're seeing across country with the heavy real estate markets where everybody's buying, prices are going up, etc., is we're seeing property taxes go through the roof everywhere. Here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they raised property taxes 25% in 1 year. So we're seeing that across, just on Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's all over the country. So this is something that's timely. This is something that's apropos to you and your clients right now, which is 8 steps to appeal your property tax bill. Home values are rising across countries, means homeowners' property taxes are going up right now. And here's 8 ways to do it. You go to Kiplinger's, just Google this, 8 steps, and you can find it right online. We've got the link down there. But guys, does that mean you have to hold their hands to do this? Or does it just mean you're providing excellent information to your clients? With the 21-point checklist, do we do all those things for our clients? Do we sit down and help them do the survivor's guide, help them do the quality of life directive, help them do all of these things? Do we sit down and do that for them? No, that's right. We encourage them to. It's like a doctor. So if you go in your doctor, you're 400 pounds, have diabetes, high cholesterol, he's going to say you're going to have to change your diet and start exercising or you're going to die. I mean, is that what a doctor would say? Sure. Now, is he going to show up at your house the next day to make sure you're eating a healthy breakfast and that you're going for a walk? Is he going to show up at your house the next day? No, he's not. He's there to facilitate you getting better. Now, next year when you go for your physical, if you're still 400 pounds and high cholesterol, etc., what's he going to do? He's going to say the same thing over. You got to get a better diet. We can set you up with a nutritionist if you want. We have to get you on an exercise program, even just walking. We can set you up with a physical therapist or with a trainer if you want. So they're going to facilitate it, but are they going to do the work for you? No. So it's the same thing that we do with the 21-point checklist, is we will facilitate in every single annual meeting that we have with them. We're going to talk about those non-financial things, but we don't physically do them for them. But do they still appreciate the fact that we're doing those things for them? Are we still validating that we're different from every other advisor? When we do those things for them, what does it tell them? When we do the non-financial things, including things like this where we're talking about, hey, here's ways that you could appeal your property tax bill to save some money. When we do those things, what does it tell them? That's right. We care about more than money, Nick. That's exactly right. So even if you printed this article and sent it to them, or if you emailed it to them, what's it telling them? That you're constantly thinking about how to make their lives better. Does that make sense? So these are the kind of things you got to look at, because they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Also, they're not going to work with you until you show that you care, and you can't show that you care until you work with them. Would this be something that you could send up to your prospects, your warm list? How much does it cost for you to send this to your warm list? And do you think their current advisor is going to send this to them? You think their current advisor is going to send this to them? So I got one answer. Come on, guys. Is the current advisor going to send something like this to them? 2 answers. Yeah, so everybody's saying no now. No, they're not. And how much money does it cost you? Nothing, okay, to do this. Please, please, please take advantage of it. It says, hey, I feel your pain. Here's something you can do about it, okay? Now, who here would like a guaranteed 9.62% with only a 1-year hold? How many of you have your money in something that's paying 9.62 with a 1-year hold? How many of your clients have their money in something that's paying 9.62% with a 1-year hold? Anybody want this thing? Only 2 people want it. Okay, well, then they can call me afterwards. Really, only 2 people on the call want this. Put a yay, a Y or a no. Okay, everybody's saying why. Okay, guys, what that simply is, and Ron knows what it is, but here's the thing. Some of the guys got what this is. It's a Treasury Direct I bond. Now, here's the thing. Some of you are patting yourselves in the back for saying, oh, I understand now that the current rate for an I savings bond is 9.62%. So I knew that when others didn't know that. Well, here's your second question then. Did you get all your clients into them? So those of you that answered, yeah, it's an I bond. Have you got your clients into them? Because if you know about this and you're not telling your clients, what does that say about you as an advisor? It says that you care more about yourself or your clients when it comes to money. So here's the thing, guys. Telling your clients about this is not going to hurt your business. What is the most? It's right here on the screen. What is the most that your clients can put into this savings bond? 10K. That's it. They can only put 10K. So husband and wife can put 20,000. Is that really hurting your business if they put $20,000 between the two of them, or 10,000 each, into a savings bond? But what does it tell them about you as an advisor? If you're telling them about, look at this thing that costs you nothing, that pays 9.6, what does it tell them about you as an advisor? So here's the thing, guys. When I was making $1 million a year as an advisor, I was an RIA, or I was a registered investment advisor. I could manage money. Those of you that know my story, how much money did I manage as an RIA? How much money did I manage? So you're 65, RIA, how much money did I manage? Zero, nada, zippo. Why? Because I knew that the S&P 500 would beat basically every hedge fund, which it did, every funds, which it does over a 5 and 10 year time period. And why should I charge people for that? So what I would do is I would say, listen, let's put your growth money into here. I'm not going to charge you for that. So we'll put and back then you could do this. Let's put 20% of your money here. We'll put the rest in an FIA. Now this 20%, I don't get paid on this because I don't think I should get paid when all you're putting in is 500 stocks and letting it go. And you can basically do that for no management fee. I don't feel right charging you for that. But let's put all the rest of the money in the FIAs. Guess how much money not making money on money management made me? Did it hurt me or did it help me by not making money on registered or on money management? It helped me, because guess how easy it was for me to get the rest of the money moved to an FIA. Now, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm making a point. What's the point I'm making here? When you do things for your clients where you do not get paid, even when it's about money, what does it do for your relationship with your current client? So why would you want to make sure and reach out to all your clients about these I savings bonds right now? First of all, it's not going to hurt your business if they're only if you're worried about your client putting 20 grand into something that you don't get paid on, what does that say about your business? Holy moly. How long do you have to be in business if you're worried about your client putting 20 grand someplace where you didn't get paid on? So why would you want to do this? First of all, you could do it for prospecting. Would this be a good thing? Because do you think all of your competitors are making sure? I know that your competitors are not talking about this. I have two friends and a relative, because and I don't have my license anymore, so I don't manage any money. But they still come to me, tell me, I still see them, and I do give them ideas occasionally. And I told them, all three of them, about these savings I bonds. And their first thing was, well, why didn't what? What do you think the first question was? They turned to their spouse and said, what? Yeah, why isn't our advisor telling this? What did I tell them? When they said, well, why wouldn't our advisor tell this? What did I tell them? That's an easy answer. I wish it was he doesn't care. I guess it probably is he doesn't care. But he doesn't care because he doesn't get paid. That's right, Tom. He doesn't get paid. That's why. So if you were touching your prospecting list and your warm list with this, what does it tell them about you? You've heard me tell this story. If you go out on a date with a girl and the only thing you talk about is sex, what does she know about you? All you care about is sex. All you do is talk about money and things you get paid on, what do they know about you? You only care about getting paid. If you show them, hey, this is a 9.62% rate of return, With the markets as rocky as they are right now, holy crap. What does that say about you? That you care about more than just making money. And obviously, you got to get to the clients as quickly as possible, because do you want somebody like me talking to your client and then them turning to it and saying, why didn't our advisor tell us about this? Do you really want them to hear it from another person, whether it's a friend, a relative, or an advisor trying to steal your client away from you? Do you want them to read it? And there's nothing more embarrassing than when they say, hey, I read about this on Kiplinger's. Hey, I read about this in the paper. Hey, I heard about this on the news. And you didn't tell. What does it tell them about you if they heard about this 9.62 guaranteed rate of return 1 year hold and you didn't tell them about it? What does it tell them about you as an advisor? Do you really want them saying, why didn't you tell me this? What does that do for your trust level? So again, we can leverage that, the damage that does the trust. We can leverage that for prospecting. We can leverage that with our warming list. But do you really want your clients to have a damaged relationship with you because they don't trust you, because they think they're not looking out for my best interests? And again, the most they can put into this is 20 grand. So how many of you in the next 5 days, and this I want everybody to answer with whys or no's, how many of you are you going to contact all of your clients in the next week about this opportunity? Two yeses. Three yeses. Come on. For everybody. Yeah, that's right. Both prospects and clients. Does that make sense, guys? You gotta do this. It has so many benefits and it prevents problems. Okay? So that's just an example of a small sales plan. So I love HubSpot. They have a great CRM, but they also constantly provide awesome guidance, the best and the newest when it comes to sales tools and marketing tools. So they had an article called the Sales Close Plan, the best tool to close way more deals, and they have a template for you. But basically it says, why should you create a sales close plan? Setting up a formal sales close plan will make sure that you and your prospect and anyone else associated with the purchase decision are on the same page. It also makes the sales process more manageable for a prospect who never got through a major purchase decision before taking on the graduate task of breaking up the little achievable pieces. Here's the thing, guys. When I was making 50 grand a year, I made every single one of my plans a Mona Lisa. They were beautiful. You know, with my CFP, I'd create these plans that take me 3 or 4 days to put them together, and they were beautiful. I had taxes being offset by tax credits. I had perfect withdrawal strategy. These things should be in the Smithsonian. But how much did I say I was making when I had these beautiful, complicated plans? $50K. When I went to the McDonald's format of everybody that comes in gets the same plan, how much more money did I make? $1 million. So everybody got the same plan, and yet it was a simple plan that everybody could follow. Who do you think makes more money, McDonald's or the Ruth Chris Steakhouse? Who makes more money, McDonald's or Ruth Chris Steakhouse? By far, who makes more money? McDonald's does. Why? Who makes more money, your local McDonald's or that little family-owned restaurant that has a super chef in there? Even head-to-head, McDonald's on one restaurant to another restaurant is going to make more money. Why? Because they can serve more people quickly. And everybody that comes in gets the same thing. And see, that's what allowed me. There's no way when I was taking 3 days to do one financial plan, there was no way that I was going to make $1 million. Why? Because I was working with teachers, engineers, and nurses. Teachers, engineers, nurses. Are they wealthy people? No. And so I was not bringing in huge tickets. But there was no way that I could bring on 10 clients a month There's no way I could bring on 10 clients a month. There's no way I could bring on 5 clients a month. With doing that, I had to have efficiency. So I would do 3 or 4 financial or 21-point checklists on a Saturday morning between 5 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. That's efficiency. It used to take me 3 days, and now I'm getting 5 of them done in 2.5 hours. That's what happens when you have a process. So how do you build a financial plan? Well, the first thing they say is you need to determine their goals. What do we believe about the client's goals when they come in? Because give me some ideas of what clients' goals might be when they come in. What might the client's goals be when they come in? What do you think? Some of them want to save on taxes, right? Some of them want to know. Well, again, I'm not talking about our goal questions, but even with our goal questions that we have, right, about, hey, 25% more income, about paying 70% less tax with qualified money, about getting the 1% tax bracket with your non-qualified money, the replacing your spouse's Social Security at their death, even those goals, will those goals bring people on as a client? With those goals, if they come in for that, will that close the deal? No, it gets them into the process. It gets them to opt into the process. Will it close the deal? No. No. See, people, all of our competition, and many of us still think, hey, if they want to save on taxes. Hey, they want to save on fees. Hey, I'll protect your money. Hey, I'm a fiduciary. I'm a CFP. Hey, I'll come in and get you. I'll help you get more income. Hey, I'll get you higher returns. Are these the things that get people to move their money? That's a goal. Dude, these are goals, right? People want to save taxes. That's a goal. They want to save fees. That's a goal. They want to protect their money. That's a goal. They want higher returns. That's a goal. They want more income. That's a goal. They want somebody they can trust. That's a goal. Those are all goals. Well, people move their money. Who else can do all these things? Who else can save them taxes? Their guy. Who else can save them fees? That's right, Mark. Every seminar, every advisor is talking about, I'll save your taxes, I'll save your fees, I'll protect your money, I'll get you higher returns, I'll get more income. If you show them any of these things, where's the first place they're going to check to see if they can get it? If you can show them how you can save taxes, you show them how you can save fees, you show them how to protect money, they're going to go back to their guy. So this is one thing that I would change about their sales close, which is I'm not looking for their goals, because if I go with their goals, guess what? We're not going to get anything. They're going to take our information back to the current guy. I don't care about their hot buttons. I create a white hot, poker hot, something that burns in their brain that when they think about it before they go to sleep. They can't go on vacation because of it. What's the hot button that we use, guys? Where they can't go on vacation because of this. They can't sleep because of this. That's right, lack of trust. If they think their guy is taking advantage of them, can they sleep? If you think the guy that's managing your money has all of your money and you can't trust him, he's taking advantage of you, how many minutes a day are you going to think about that? Every minute of the day till it gets fixed. How many of us like being screwed? You know, you've heard me talk about this. If you're going to the movie and you come to a stoplight and the stoplight's red, you stop. You don't get angry. You stop, and then you wait a minute. And then you go. That's a fact of life, right? But you arrive at the movie, and there's a line that's around the block, and you get in line because you want to see this movie, and you see somebody butt in front of you. Now, how much extra time is that going to take with somebody butting in front of you? How much time is that going to take? About a minute. But do we think, oh, that's life, that's okay? Is that what we think when that person butts in front of us? What do we think? We get angry. Why? That person's taking advantage of it. That person thinks he's better than me. That person thinks that his time is more valuable than mine. That person thinks that if there's only one seat left, he should get it. I shouldn't get it. See, at the same time, different methodology. So when you break the trust, and do we break the trust, or who breaks the trust with the 21-point checklist? If you're doing it right, who's breaking the trust? If you do the 21-point checklist right, who's breaking the trust? They do. You ask them questions where they become to draw their own conclusion. I cannot trust my guy anymore. And is it fixable? I mean, any of these other things, those are all fixable. But is breaking their trust, is that fixable by their guy? new. So this is the one thing I disagree with their close plan is we're not going to rely on their goals. We're going to help them figure out the real goal is I need to get away from my guy as quickly as possible. So what do you think is going to work better? If their goal is to save taxes, fees, safer returns, higher returns, more income, or I need to get away from my guy as quickly as possible, what's going to work better and faster to close the deal? Get away. That's right. Get away. Number 2 on their sales plan, though, help them envision a future with and without your help. Does the 21-point checklist do that? Yes. Do we walk them through what could happen if they don't do a survivor's guide? Do we walk them through, by asking them questions, what will happen if they don't have a power of attorney? Do we walk them through what can happen if they don't have a quality of life directive? Do we walk them through what can happen with identity theft? Do we walk them through what can happen if they don't have umbrella liability insurance of the right kind? Do we walk them through what can happen if the property casualty isn't working properly? Titling, beneficiaries, fees. Do we walk them through scenarios where they envision any of these things and how it affects them on a personal level? That's our whole process. Our whole process is to help them envision a future with or without our help. Does that make sense? Now, I'll give you an example of that. How many of you do this? How many of you have $2,000 or $3,000 in hundreds and fifties in your desk? Give me a Y or an N. Give me a Y or an N. Do you have hundos and fifties in your desk, in your office someplace? So I'm getting some yeses, but mostly no's. So congratulations on the yeses. And what we're doing there, does anybody type in a question mark if you don't know why I'm asking that question or how we use it? Type in a question mark if you don't know how we use that cash. Okay, so I'm getting some question marks. Well, when I walk through the fees, and as I'm explaining this, guys, can some of you that do have the cash money just type in how it affects, when you've used it with a client, how it affects them? Type that in while I'm going through for the guys that don't know how to use this so I can share some of your stories. So when I show them how much in fees, turnover costs are costing them, that's real money. So if I do tax, I did taxes too. So I would do taxes, fees, and turnover costs. And let's say we showed them I could save them $7,000 in, or let's do an easier one, $6,000 in fees per year. And I would say that, now that's real money. Can I show you what I mean by real money? And the client would always say, well, okay. So then I would have a cigar box on my shelf, and I would walk over, get that cigar box, open it up, and there's this wad of cash there. And then I would say, well, here's what it's costing you. Now, obviously, I only had $3,000 there, so not $6,000. So I'd say, well, 6,000 divided by 3,000 is 6 months. So I'm going to use the whole 3,000. So I count out 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Slide. 100, 200, there's a pile. 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I would count it out just like that. Pile by pile by pile. And then I would let it sit there. And I don't care how much money they had, where were their eyes glued? Where were their eyes glued at that point? $3,000 cash, right on the cash. And then I would push it over to their side of the desk and say, this is your money. And they say, really? Can I have that? And then I would pull it all back and say, yeah, you can have all that, but it doesn't happen by magic. But all these fees and turnover costs, we can get rid of those. I mean, how would it be if every 6 months I gave you this wad of cash, walked up to your door, because guess how much taxes you're going to pay on this? Nothing. Guess how much risk there is in this money? Nothing. Guess how long you have to keep this money? It's yours immediately. Just depends on how you want. So if every 6 months I walked up in your door and I knocked on your door and said, hey, here's your $3,000, and every 6 months I did that, would that be a good thing? Yeah, I would. I mean, are you giving that money to me? I said, I will. By you making these changes, you'll have this every single year. In fact, that amount will go up every single year. Right now, guess where it's going? Guess where it's going right now? To your advisor and their company. So this doesn't happen magically, but this money is yours. It's just right now you've chosen to take your money and give it to who? Well, I guess our advisor and our company. Yeah. But you can stop that anytime you want. And then I'd pull all that money back, put it into a pile, put it back in the cigar box. What have I done there, guys? Did I help them in a vision of future with and without my help at that point? How vivid was that crystal ball for them at that point? So what do I got? So only one person gave me a story, and they said, well, they could see that it easily becomes real to them. Guys, I'm telling you, it's such a powerful tool to be able to do that. Now, the other thing we're doing here, number 3, identify stakeholders and roadblocks. Are we talking to, generally, at least for the first 40 minutes of the meeting, are we talking to the person in the couple who manages the money? For the first 40, 45 minutes, are we talking to the person in the couple who manages the money, manages the investments, that knows what's going on with the investments? No. Who do we talk to? We talk to the spouse. We talk to their language. We talk about things that they're concerned about. They're concerned about family. They're concerned about people getting sick. They're concerned about losing their spouse and what would happen to them financially if that happened. They're worried about security. That's who we talk to. And when we get them irritated with their current, they're already generally irritated with their advisor. When we give them ammunition to voice their irritation, we now have them on our side. Now, the other thing is I always try to see if the kids want to be involved. Do I want to know the kids are involved before or after the process? And here's a question. If the kids want to get involved after the process, because you have, maybe it's an older person and they say, I just want to run this by my kids, or my kids want to look or talk to you about what you're doing. Guys, are the kids being good kids when they do that? Are the kids being good kids when they do that? If your mom or dad said, yeah, I met with this advisor and I want to move all my money to them, what would your knee-jerk reaction be? What would your knee-jerk? I'd be like, whoa. Let me check them out first. Right? Now, if the kids want to be involved, what do I do with the kids? So I brought on a client, or I brought on a prospect, ran them through the agreement meeting, ran them through the 21-point checklist, and then I ran them through the implementation meeting, and they put the halt on right then. When we're getting ready to move the money, we halt on it because they want their kids to get involved. So I've done meeting number 1, number 2, number 3. What do I do if the kids want to be involved at that point? Let's see how many of you understand how the system works. What would I do with the kids at that point? Whether they want to talk to me on the phone, come into my office, or whatever, what am I going to do with them? Anybody? Well, first of all, has that ever happened to anybody? Maybe we don't need to talk about that. Has that ever happened to anybody? Bob, you got it right. Good job, Bob. I mean, has that ever happened to you where that's happened? The kids have put the brakes on it. So Bob says you better go back through the same steps. You're exactly right, Bob. You need to go through a 21-point checklist with them. Why? Because when you go through a 21-point checklist with them, it does 2 things. First of all, does it demonstrate to them that you're about more than just the money? Do they say, oh, this is a person who really cares about my parents? Yes. And here's the other thing that happens. Do the kids really want to be responsible for all those 9 financial things, helping their mom and dad with the survivor's guide, with the will and the trust, with the medical directive, with do they want to do that? No. So they think, oh my God, mom and dad, you need to work with Mike. You need to work with Mike. I mean, they would insist on it at that point. The reason being is because they're like, I don't want to have to deal with these things, and I certainly don't want to have to deal with these things if they're not taken care of up front. So I better get them with Mike right away. So when their kids want to be involved, when I was making $50,000 a year and their kids wanted to be involved, guess what I knew was going to happen? When I was making 50 grand a year and the kids want to get involved, guess what I knew was going to happen? Was I going to get the deal? No. It was done. Because all I was talking to them about is, hey, let's move the money. Hey, let's move the money. And guess what the kids said? Mom and Dad, you're doing just fine where you are now. Why fix something that's not broken? They would quash the deal. But when I created and utilized the 21-point checklist and the kids wanted to be involved, guess how happy I was? Was I happy when I did the 21-point checklist and created that and was using it as my tool to move money? Was I happy when their kids wanted to get involved? Hell yeah. It guaranteed that I got the deal because the kids were now the driving force to get them to move the money to me. Does that make sense? Sure. And Ron says, yeah, it created a doubt for their environment as well. Yeah, absolutely did. See, so that was you want to bring on stakeholders and remove roadblocks. If they think you're just moving the money for a quote unquote better investment, quote unquote safer investment, quote unquote better rate of return, is that going to get them, the spouse, and the kids all on the same page about moving the money? How about moving roadblocks of, hey, the market's doing well. Maybe we'll just wait until the market corrects. Or, the market's correcting. Maybe we'll wait until the market comes back. Don't tell me you've not heard that kind of, it makes no sense, but have you all heard those kind of things? They always have a reason to wait, a reason to wait, a reason to wait. The 21-point checklist breaks through that. How? See, we've been doing this I've been using it since 1997. We've had unbelievable bull markets. We've had unbelievable bear markets. We've had wars. We've had peace times. We've had high inflation, low inflation. We've had, you name it, we've seen it, and it works the same. It works just as well every single time. That's right. Ron says, urgency from getting screwed. So it doesn't matter if the market's up, down, interest rates are up, down, we're in a war, not in a war, inflation, not a whatever. It does not matter. It works because that has nothing to do with the economics of the situation. Every other advisor sells through what? Economics of situation. And Jeff, how many times have we heard, I can't wait for the market to crash because then people will move? Have we heard that in 2 decades of working with people?
Yeah, we've heard that. We've definitely heard that.
And what's your answer to that?
It doesn't really work. You lose. It's true. You might get people. You're going to lose people though too. It ends up being a wash. if that's how you're competing, it's not gonna. You're not going to see any big bump up from that.
No. So guys, if you're waiting for something to happen, who in their right mind would run a business where they have to wait for the perfect environment for them to make money? Is that a dangerous or not a dangerous way to run your business? The beauty of the 21-point checklist and helping the client through motivational interviewing come to their own conclusion and tell you 100 times in their own words they can't trust their guy anymore is that it works regardless of outside pressures. That removes all the roadblocks. Number 5, remind the prospect they have personal stakes in closing the deal. Does the 21-point checklist do that? Yes, it does. And then at the end, after we've gone through the entire 21-point checklist process, what do? We've gone through the 21-point checklist, and then what do we do at the end of the meeting? What do we do at the end of the meeting? Yes, we go through it again, only what? Backwards. We say, okay, now what did we find out about your diversification? What do we find about your risk reward? What do we find out about your manager tenure? What do we find out about your weighting? What do we find out about your volatility? And what do I want their answer to be with every single one of these things? Do I want them to say, oh, I don't have very good diversification? If they say, oh, I don't have good diversification. Oh, you know what? I'm taking too much risk for the reward I'm getting. Oh, you know what? My manager tenure is way too low. Oh, my investment weighting is all off. If they're saying that, what do we got? Nothing. That's right. That's right. Nick says, my guy. They're screwing me. If they say that, what percentage of tire kickers will move their money? If they say that, what percent of plane lickers will move their money? What percentage of people who their son or their daughter is their advisor will move their money? See, you have, the world is your oyster, and you have your oyster. This 21-point checklist will get everybody to move their money. Now again, you have to do these things with motivational interviewing. You have to be able to ask them the open-ended questions to get them to say that. Do you have to come up with your own open-ended questions, guys? No, they're all there for you. And then number 6 with HubSpot is that you need to compile the information in a document. Have we done the document for you? Yes. So the main thing we hear is that, I know, but man, learning the 21-point checklist is so hard. It's just so much stuff. It's so many questions. It's huge. It's difficult. Well, you don't have to overwhelm yourself by learning too much at a time. You can do it step by step. The one question I ask guys is this: how many high schools are there in the country? How many high schools are there in the country? 24,000. How many of those 24,000 have drama clubs? How many of those 24,000 put on a spring play and a fall play and a spring play? Most of them. Let's say 20,000 of them. So here's the thing, guys. Do they pay these kids to act? Do they make a cent to act? Do they have to know their script so they lose their part? Does the math teacher and the history teacher and the whatever teacher, do they get to not have to do their homework and skip their lessons because they're in the play? Or do they have to do the play on top of everything else they're doing? They have to do the play and learn the play and everything else they're doing. And yet, do they learn the script? Do they learn a 2-hour script? Yes, they do, for no money. Here's the thing, guys. If you learn our script, you said you'd sell what percentage of people? 100% of people. If you learn our script, how much money can you make? Is there really a limit to the upside that you can make once you know these scripts? No. Only the time in the day. Only the time in the day. And if you want to learn it a little bit at a time, we've given you the tool. We have a tool called Anki. And Matt at ECA can get you started on Anki, and it will allow you to have it loaded, the script loaded on your phone, so you can learn it bits and pieces when you're standing in line at the DMV, when you're standing in line at the grocery store, when you're watching or not watching your kids play baseball this summer. You have it on your phone. You learn that script a little bit at a time, and Matt can help you walk through that. What Anki does is it's a flashcard software system. Again, you can load it on your computer or your phone that uses recall. It uses the scientific process of recall and spaced repetition. It starts to learn what you already know. If you already know a part of the script, it will only remind you every so often. If it's a script, part of the script that you're struggling with, it's going to show up in the deck more often, so you can learn that thing. So it's using scientific principles of spaced repetition to help you remember facts. It's a lot more efficient than traditional study methods, and you can either greatly decrease your time spent studying, greatly increase the amount you learn. Decrease your time spent studying, increase the amount you learn, all using science, and you get it for free with us. How many of you are using that tool? If not, please call Matt and set up a time where you can get that tool on your phone and use the downtime this summer to pick at the script, get a little bit better. Because Jeff, do you have to be perfect at all the script for this to work?
No, you don't have to be perfect at all.
I mean, have you heard guys close huge cases they said they otherwise would not have gotten, that were maybe only 50% skill-wise on the script?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all the time, guys. All the time. Please. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing, but you have to be learning and getting better at these things. And do we have downtime every single day, guys? Is every single one of you, your day is so full you don't have 5 or 10 minutes to look at your phone and maybe work on just one part of the script? Is there anybody on the phone right now that is so busy they don't have 10-minute downtime anytime? Because we all have that phone in our pocket or within reach, always. So instead of looking at your news feed, instead of looking, listen to a song for 10 minutes, wouldn't this be a better way? Learning the scripts better, asking better questions, learning how to get tire kickers and plate lickers to move all their money to you. Wouldn't that be a better way to do it? I mean, guys, closing every person you want to close, the tire kickers, plate lickers, and everybody else, what would happen to your return on investment if you did marketing? Because you know what? You can market for $3,750 with the seminar, $4,600, $7,300. How many of us would be afraid to do marketing, spend $3,700, $4,600, $7,300 if we knew we were going to close tire kickers and plate lickers? Would you be afraid to do marketing if you knew you're going to close all your tire kickers and all your plate lickers? Because what would you make, even on a $7,300, what are you going to make on a presentation? Because again, if you use our tools for the presentation, how many people will make appointments? 80%. So if you're getting in front of 80%, yes. Most of that 80% are tire kickers, yes. Most of the 80% of those are plate lickers. Still, if 80% of them are tire kickers and plate lickers, we close all of them. What kind of money are you going to make on a $3,700, $4,600, $7,300 investment? The reason people don't want to market is they think, I'm going to get in front of crappy people. And their definition of crappy people is not people with no money. They're getting in front of people that don't want to move the money. They're getting in front of tire kickers and plate lickers. Do you have that problem when you're good at the 21-point checklist? Was I ever sad that I got in front of a room of tire kickers and plate lickers? Or did I lick my chops? When they said they loved their guy, did that make me sad or did that make me happy? When they said they loved their guy, did that make me sad or happy? I was happy, 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 happy. Because I know the more they like their guy, the more they're going to what? The more they like the guy, when we walk them through the 21-point checklist using motivational interviewing, the more they get pissed at them. See, we expect or are not surprised when people that we don't know, when strangers take advantage of us. But when we find somebody that pretends like they're our friend and has for years, and we suddenly find out that they've been screwing us, how mad do we get? So you don't have to do seminars, but if the thing that's holding you back is you're afraid you're wasting money, if you know the 21-point checklist, are you wasting money with a seminar? If you know a 21-point checklist, would you be wasting money with a seminar? No. So you don't have to do a seminar. But if the thing that's holding you back is you're afraid that you might spend this money and not get it back, well, then you shouldn't be. The reason you're afraid that you might spend money and not get it back is why? You have great confidence in your ability to do a 21-point checklist or not any confidence in doing a 21-point checklist. So if that's the case, get a hold of Matt and start using this app that we have available to you to learn the 21-point checklist so that you can break through any plateau you have in your ability to make income. Does that make sense? And even if you just don't want to do a seminar, would it hurt you to still have in your pocket the knowledge, the script, the tools to close every tire kicker and plate licker you got in front of? How much money would you have in the bank right now if you've closed every tire kicker and plate licker that you got in front of in your career? A lot or no change? Does that make sense? So please, guys, this phone call was just simply about getting you back into learning the 21-point checklist, because that is what will make you an unlimited amount of money. Okay? So you guys have a great rest of the week. Think about what I said. Please make an appointment with Matt. Use your downtime this summer. So this comes this fall, you are ready to rock and roll, closing every tire kicker and plate licker you get in front of. Whether you want to market with seminars, leads, or utilize all the free type of marketing that we talked about last week using USP, you'll be ready to close every person you get in front of. Make sense? Super. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we will all talk to you next Monday, okay?